Okay, so to go back and review what we've learned this week, we're going to start with the vocabulary. So we have square numbers, which are the arrays that you're going to have both dimensions are the same. Prime is where you only have one array. The number times 1 is the only thing that will work to get that number. A factor is all the numbers that can be multiplied to get a certain number. And a multiple is the number you get when you multiply a number by other numbers. So when you take a number and multiply it by something, the answer is then a multiple of your original number. And then yesterday we learned all about the order of operations, which is solving an equation in order to get the correct answer. So with order of operations, I do want to go through those steps again and practice one with you. So you're going to perform the operations within grouping symbols first. That's your parentheses and brackets. Parentheses are the circular ones, brackets are the more square looking ones. All grouping symbols and the equations in them need to be solved first before moving on to number 2, which is multiply and divide in order from left to right, and then add and subtract in order from left to right. So it doesn't matter if add or subtract is first as long as you're moving from left to right. So here's the example we're going to go through together. Going through the steps, grouping symbols first. Everything in grouping symbols must be solved first. Then multiply and divide. Then add and subtract both from left to right. Okay, so I do have a grouping symbol, so I start there right away. I only have one grouping symbol, so I solve what's within that first. That's 11. And then I carry everything else down. So I have everything I didn't solve for brought down, hooked onto what I did solve. The grouping symbol goes away because you no longer need it because what was in it was solved for. So I have all my grouping symbols done. Now I look to multiply and divide, moving from left to right. So I do have a multiplication, and it happens to be first. So 7 times 2 is 14. Then I carry everything else down. No more multiplying or dividing left in the problem. And then you add and subtract, moving from left to right. So 14 minus 11 equals 3. Okay, you're going to practice some more of those today. It's going to be online. You're going to answer some questions like that. Just remember grouping first, and I would write this down in some way in your notebook so that you can use it as you answer the questions. So grouping first, and I'd write what that means. You might write multiply and divide instead from left to right, or add and subtract from left to right. Either way you write it, you want to remind yourself that it doesn't matter which one comes first as long as you're moving from left to right. Okay, practice some more of those and then finish your assignment online.